starting off with Alibi. To be completely honest, I think she was a C tier operator, but because she now counters Solid Snake quite well, in my opinion, I think she is a low end of B tier operator this season. Now, the one good thing besides her countering Solid Snake is she has a really nice loadout. The SMG is insane. Aruni is an interesting one because at a minimum, she's A tier, but for me personally, I think she jumps up into S tier. I think there is a debate for her in S tier. Obviously, she gets the DMR on defense. She has the ACOG. It's one of the things that a lot of people pick her for. But in my opinion, the gadget's good as well. It's kind of like a Jaeger, but for doorways. In a way, it burns utility. So let me know if you agree with that. Let's move on now to Azami, who I think is also up in S tier. She is so versatile in every different type of way you can play her. She can make areas of the map viable that weren't before. Bandit is another interesting one. Do I go A for Bandit or do I go S? Because he is very good. If you know how to Bandit trick, he can be one of the most effective way of keeping a reinforced wall unopened. But is he S tier? I think he might be. I actually do think he might be. He is a low end of S, on the edge of dropping to A, but he is still S tier in my opinion. Castle, I'm going to go A tier. He's not as good as he used to be when he had ACOG, but he is still quite strong. Kavira, do I go C tier or do I go up to B? She's just so niche, you know what I mean? Like, if you can get an interrogation off, she can be really strong. She can be round changing. For me, I'm just not too keen of a Kavira player. I never play her. The only good thing is her pistol. I think all of her other weapons are kind of mid. But let's just move on. Let me know if you think C tier is appropriate for Kavira. Next up, we have Clash, who I'm going to go B tier because a lot of people are going to hate me for this. She's not a bad operator. She's just annoying by her design. Her whole design is to delay the attackers, be annoying, be a nuisance, and take your attention away from attacking the objective, and she does that really well. So if you play her for her intended purpose, she's actually not that bad, but she's still not above a B tier. Denari, in the right setting, can be really strong, like S tier, but I'm going to go A tier, low end of A tier for the majority of matches and for the majority of ranks. Doc, I don't know how I feel about Doc anymore. Since he's lost his ACOG, he's really fallen out the meta, in my opinion, but he can still heal. Would I prefer to play Doc over Clash? Yes. Would I prefer to play Doc over Alibi? Yes. But I don't think he's as good as A tier and above, so I'm going to leave him at the top end of B for now. Echo, I'm going to just chuck straight into A tier. Really strong in the right hands, and for majority of rounds, he is going to be good. Probably better than a Denari, and probably better than Castle in the current way he works. Ella, in my opinion, is just going to go into B tier. Again, I know if you can catch people in your traps, you can basically get free kills. It's really hard to fight while being concussed. But the thing is, this is kind of just like a proximity alarm with a stun. Like, it's basically just used as a sound cue at this point, which isn't a bad thing, but it is kind of mid, you know what I mean? So I'm just going to leave her in B tier. Next up then, we have Fenrir, who in my opinion is a really strong operator. If you can get into a gunfight while the attackers are caught in your trap, you've got a free kill. They can't even see you to shoot back. Like, that's how strong of an operator he is. He also has a really good loadout. Very strong operator. Frost, since the rework, which has been a long time ago now, I personally stopped playing her. Obviously, she no longer has the ACOG as well, but I do still think she's a B tier operator. Again, I think I'd rather take her over like an Ella, for example. Goyo, is Goyo S tier? I think he is. I think he is. I think he's even stronger than Fenrir in most cases. The one thing I don't like about Goyo is a lot of people just misuse him. Lots of people just place his traps on a doorway or a window and just do that every single round. But most of the time, there's better ways of playing him. There's better positions to be putting his canisters, and you're just wasting it on like a window or barricade that's just going to get destroyed at the start of the round. After that, then we have Jaeger. Now, it pains me to say, but Jaeger is not very good anymore. Obviously, he's still okay, still decent. I'd probably still take him over these operators, but is he meta? Not like he used to be. I really want to see Ubisoft buff Jaeger in any kind of way to make him really good again, because I really do miss when Jaeger was in every single round and was really good. After that though, we do have Kaid, who I'm going to put up in S tier as well. I mean, if Bandit's in S tier, Kaid has to be in S tier, you know what I mean? Like, he gets hatches as well, and obviously you can learn how to Kaid trick as well. Both are very strong operators. I think it's just a personal preference. Like, I prefer Bandit's loadout, which is why I prefer him as an operator, but I know for a fact the ability to get hatches is strictly unique to Kaid. Next up then we have Kapkan, and Kapkan is literally my most played defender. I've got the highest win rate as Kapkan, highest KD as Kapkan. He is literally my main. So this might be a little bit biased, but I'm going to go top end of A tier. I know he's easy to counter. I know if you see the traps, you can shoot it. And in my opinion, he's only good for one round. But that one round that you can get away with hiding, placing Kapkans around the map sneakily and in good positions, he is so goddamn good. Genuinely, if you play Kapkan in creative ways, you can literally change the course of a game. After that though, we have Legion, who I think is still an A tier operator, probably better than the likes of Castle and Denari, but he's not quite as good without that super shorty, but he is still really good for like the intel, actually. So I'm actually going to put him probably top end of A tier. And again, I think there's going to be an argument in the comments for him being an S tier. Maestro for me, again, does not fit my play style. I think for the majority of players, he's probably going to be B. If you're a high end, high skill, high IQ kind of player, he's probably low end of A. I'm going to leave him in A tier. If you know what you're doing, he is a strong operator. Malusi, I'm just going to chuck into B tier. I'm not a big fan of Malusi in the way she works. I do think she's probably better than Jaeger though, in my opinion. Mira is high end of A tier in my opinion, but it all depends on the bomb site. Where she's easily counterable now just by bashing her shield, that nerf that they did to her really limited how viable she is on most bomb sites, because all it takes is for someone to walk up to the window and punch it, and there, you can't see through it anymore. However, on those select few bomb sites, she is a must pick operator. After Mira though, we have Mozzie, who I think is a low end mid-tier B-tier operator. He's good for the people who like him. He's got okay weapons. I don't mind his loadout and his kit and stuff, but for the majority of rounds, there are just better operators to be picking. Next up then, we have Mute, who's going straight up in S tier. I think Mute might be the best defender in Siege. I think he is the #1 defender. He's so versatile. He does so much. He counters so many operators. Even the new operator Solid Snake, if you're standing in a Mute jammer, you won't get affected, and that is so goddamn strong. And obviously he also counters intel as well, like drones. You can literally stop people from droning. Next up then, we have Oryx, and I think Oryx is another C tier operator. I think so far out of the ones we've ranked, he's the worst. I don't really like Oryx as an operator. I really think he's a bit gimmicky. The fact that he basically just makes rotates. After this then, we have Pulse. Obviously you can see heartbeats through walls. It's pretty good, but in my opinion, it is a little bit outdated. You know what I mean? Like, he's okay, but I feel like at this point, he's just not as strong as some of the other operators on this list. Same goes with Rook. In fact, I think Rook might be a C tier operator. Without ACOG, he really doesn't have much going for him other than his simplicity and his ease of playing. If you're new to the game, Rook is the perfect one to get started with because he's so easy to get the hang of. But once you move out of, say, Silver, you really don't want to be picking Rook. Next up then, we have Sentry, who isn't actually as bad as people think. A lot of people thought when recruits got made into actual operators that they're just going to be mid, you know what I mean? It's just a rebranded recruit, but there is actual, you know, utility in bringing 2 secondary gadgets. Now on defense, I don't think it's as good as it is on attack. I think in my attacker list, I think I put Striker like up high end of A tier or mid A tier. I think for the defenders, he probably is a B tier, and I'd probably rather have a Doc on my team. In fact, Doc kind of looks out of place in B tier. I might jump him up to A, but Sentry in my opinion is still pretty good. Bringing like a C4 and a deployable shield can literally save the rest of your team from having to bring things and, you know, play a little bit more aggressively. Depending on your team setup, that can be perfect. Skopos, in my opinion, is actually kind of insane. I think with the buffs they gave to Skopos, might be one of the better operators in the game right now. I would argue, if you're playing them perfectly, might be better than Mira. That might be a controversial take. I think that will probably be the wildest one down in the comment section. Where do you think Skopos deserves to be on this tier list? I think they're actually up in A tier right now. After this, we have Smoke, also S tier, just again, kind of similar to Mute. You got the shotgun SMG11 combo. You kind of got like the Goyo effect where you can just lock off an area of the map for so long. After that, we have Solace, who I think has got some redemption. I think they're up in A tier again. They are a pretty strong operator, and again, another one of those operators that counters Solid Snake this season, and I think that's definitely something to to be mentioning because Solid Snake is so goddamn strong and we're seeing him all the time right now. Next up, we got Tachanka, who I think... Did I just have a fucking voice crack? Oh my god. Am I going to leave that in? Holy shit, I'm re-recording that. Next up then, we have Tachanka, and I'm going to be completely honest, I think Tachanka might be the worst operator, at least on defense anyway. This dude, to be able to put down fire like Goyo, you have to completely put yourself at risk. If you peek anything, you can't shoot back, essentially. And I know he does have the LMG, so maybe he's not a D tier, he's a C tier pick, but I still think he might be one of the worst. It's definitely a toss-up between Tachanka and Oryx. Let me know which operator you think is the worst in the game, especially on defense, but I think it could either be Tachanka or Oryx. After this then, we have Thorn, who is very, very strong in the current meta. The last few set of buffs that Ubisoft did to Thorn, finally what we needed. They are so goddamn fun to play right now. Next up, we have Thunderbird going straight into like low end of B tier. I think I'd actually rather have an Alibi and a Clash, but I don't think they're as useless as, say, in fact, no, I think they're very similar to how Rook works, where you just set down your gadget at the start of the round and then you can just do what you want, because once you're dead, you are still healing your team. I actually think these two operators are extremely similar. Next up then, we have Tubarao, who's another interesting operator, probably somewhere in A tier, but I'll be completely honest with you, one of my least played operators. I literally never play Tubarao, so I don't really have that good of an understanding of how good he actually is. After this then, we have Valkyrie, who is again probably a high-end A tier operator, probably an argument for S tier. If you have the right stack, you can get insane levels of information from Valkyrie cameras. Actually kind of insane. Vigil, I'm gonna go a high end of B or low end of A. If Doc is in A tier, which again, I'm going to bump him back down, I am going to leave Vigil probably higher than Denari and Maestro actually, and probably there. Let me know if Vigil deserves to be any higher or lower. Wamai, I think I'm going to put him near Jaeger, but I think he might be slightly better. I think the fact that he just gets more, obviously his gadgets don't do as many different charges, but I do still think Wamai's gadget is slightly stronger in the way that he works, and I think he does have a better loadout. And then if we have a quick little zoom out, the last operator we have is Warden, who's probably like a low end of A. He's got the SMG-12 and shotgun combo. He's got a really good loadout for fragging out, but his gadget is kind of very, very niche. So I don't know whether to go low end of A or top end of B, but he's around there somewhere. But with that being said, that is my finished Rainbow Six Siege Defender tier list for Year 11 Season 1. If you want to watch the Attacker tier list, I'll leave it linked on screen now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.